Southend to strengthen further as we consider possible successor options, and a combined authority is clearly one of those options. Thurrock and Southend are two unitary councils in South Essex, connected by the River Thames, by transport corridors, by commuting flows, by business supply chains and business markets. Bringing our authorities closer together to enhance business networks will support productivity and competitiveness, as well as creating more job opportunities for our communities. Greater Manchester was the first and most recent combined authority, established in 2011. It's since been offered a number of additional powers and funding streams by the government as part of what is termed a deal. As the devolution debate in England moves on, combined authorities are increasingly being seen as the favoured mechanism for devolution of powers to local government, and I want Thurrock to be in that debate. I want to see Thurrock leading the way, and I want Thurrock working with all of our South Essex partners to get the best possible deal for delivering the infrastructure and growth that we need to benefit all of our communities. As with our shared services with Barking and Dagenham, our initiative is supported by this government, this time specifically by the Communities and Local Government Minister, Penny Mordaunt. She was very clear on this when she visited Thurrock last week. And I'm pleased to say that our Member of Parliament, Jackie Price, was also very supportive of this move during that visit. So while the government tests for the combined authority relate to transport and economic development, tests that we would need to satisfy, there is no reason at all that we shouldn't use our strong partnership to explore collaboration in other areas too. As I've said time and again, Thurrock Council should work with any local authority that will help us to deliver better services for our residents and to save us money at the same time. The government consultation would allow two authorities that do not share a boundary to form a combined authority, so there doesn't seem to be a barrier there. It would also allow a county council to delegate some of its transport functions to a combined authority for part of its area. And there are 3 district councils in South Essex, and it could make perfect sense for Castle Point's Highways and Transport, along with Rochford's and Basildon's, to join with us. You never know, there may be other authorities that would wish to be involved too. Now, South Essex, as we all know, is a real economic geography, not one that is based on historic county council boundaries. And let's face it, it's 126 years since Essex County Council was formed. It's 50 years since large parts of Essex became East London boroughs, and 17 years since Thurrock and Southend became unitaries. When the county speaks of Greater Essex, I think it's more appropriate that we term it historic Essex. We now need a pragmatic partnership for the 21st century based on economic realities, and we both, Southend and Thurrock, will call on the County Council to back our combined authority proposals. We want the county to take part in our work to shape South Essex and to ensure that communities and businesses across the patch, including Basildon, Castle Point and Rochford, can benefit by being part of it. We're not saying that this will happen overnight, but alongside pursuing this scheme, we will ensure that a new economic partnership for South Essex is in place by April 1st as a successor to the Thames Gateway South Essex Partnership. Whatever this body turns out to be, it will have a private sector chair. Kate Willard from Stobarts, who was also enthusiastic of the Minister's visit, I have to say, will become the chair of the new partnership, and it will be a partnership that continues as one of the 4 integral federated areas of the South East Local Enterprise Partnership. In this way, we will be able to ensure that it continues to provide the support for business, enables growth and creates opportunities for Thurrock and South Essex communities. Finally, as we're all aware, we are in a time of political upheaval, a time of political uncertainty, a time when we are not sure what will happen after May's elections. But while I'm leader, I am certain that this council will continue to engage with businesses, it will continue to liaise with local people, and it will keep everyone informed of the latest position with this and other initiatives. With that, I will open for questions and comments, and I will start with Councillor Howard.
Thank you, Leader. Other than the economic and business advantages, does the administration envisage any benefits to other council functions, i.e. education and health?
Well, specifically on education and health, Council Health and all members are aware that we have, for some time now, shared a Director of Public Health with Southend. something that is now coming to an end as the post holder wants to return to their substantive post in Southend. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't be sharing information, sharing best practice across the patch. And I would hope that that will continue, and I think that combined authority will in many ways make that easier. As far as education is concerned, I think we should look at it as education and skills. And clearly, South Essex College, as an example, has a college here in Grays, has a large college in Southend, and has a base in Basildon as well. And I think it's really important that whatever a combined authority ends up being, looks at the needs of local business, looks at the skills that they need young people to have. And I don't think that we've yet got that right, either here in Thurrock or frankly anywhere else within the Southend area. And it would, for me, be one of those asks of government that we should be looking at to release skills funding for us to spend to make sure that as we're creating jobs here in Thurrock, be it at London Gateway Port, as we bring forward the Perfect development, or indeed in Southend, as the airport continues to expand, the fastest growing airport in the country, that it's our young people that have the opportunities to take those jobs. And not only the kind of low paid jobs, but those well paid managerial high skilled jobs. So I think that you're right, there will be other areas. The one that really excites me is on education and skills. Do you have a supplementary question?
Yeah, thank you, Leader. In principle, I think the Leader's paper is a very good idea. Joint growth based on joint interests and opportunities in Essex is clearly a very positive notion. Tentatively, I do support it, obviously barring questions regarding openness and accountability as we go through the process. The point I'd make to the Leader is that going through the paper, it spells out the very obvious synergies and benefits, especially in regards to transport, but there are clear economic advantages of a healthy population, clear economic advantages of a well-trained, well-educated population. And will we ensure that we don't front-load any new arrangement with purely transport initiatives to the extent that perhaps we don't fully flesh out the opportunities that we may have in regards to education and health going forward?
The issue is that we have to satisfy the current legislation, because there is clear legislation over what a combined authority can and can't do. Now, my understanding is that at the moment that doesn't include things such as health. It is based around economic development and transport. It doesn't mean that you can't, once it's established, move into some of those softer areas, that you can't try to strike a deal with government along the lines of a city deal or whatever to allow some of those things to happen. I think it is just satisfying government and frankly, meeting their strictures first of all. So no, it won't be forgotten, but it's not something that will be done in the first flush. With that, we did have a question from Councillor Gledhill, who once again